Here we are with Mr. Mark Walsh, Portfolio Director, Arabian Travel Market, Luxury Portfolio and Specialist Events of Travel Exhibitions. We're at the second day of Arabian Travel Market, speaking to him about the prosperous growth of Arabian Travel Market coming to its 21st edition. So Mr. Walsh, could you just comment that coming down to the 21st edition of ATM, tell us something about that inspires you to go work with ATM apart from the luxury events?
Yes, I mean, I run a group of shows across the world, and one of the really pleasing things about coming to the Middle East, and Dubai in particular, for Arabian Travel Market, is the positive, can-do attitude of the region here. This region is really now on a huge growth spurt in terms of tourism, and we're working all towards 2020. And Arabian Travel Market's sort of mantra is to really reflect the amazing global destination that UAE and Dubai in particular has become.
Great. So, premium market and the business travel market. How does ATM balance both these markets in this year, in this edition of?
I mean, ATM it's a leisure show, but really it's the one-stop shop for all levels of tourism. So whether you're into luxury or cruise or medical or general leisure, ATM for this region is the one-stop shop. And this region, as I said, it is buoyant, it's growing, whether you're covering the business or the leisure side. We have delegates on the floor out there from 157 countries, which really tells you that this is an inbound, a very strong inbound and outbound destination, and as I said, ATM really reflects that.
Fantastic. Speaking about the spotlight on luxury, which is basically the theme of this year's ATM, is it only about the hotels, or is it about the entire experience of travel, be it the airlines, be it the limousine, car services, or everything?
It's the experience. I mean, you rightly say there that luxury now is not just infrastructure, it's not just five-star hotels. Increasingly, people with luxury want to have an experience. Experiential is the new word, and increasingly that's becoming more and more important. Part of my responsibility is I run the luxury events for Travel Exhibitions, and we've really noticed now that luxury has almost become not a redundant word, it is about the experience. So yes, we're focusing here at ATM on the whole gamut of what is a luxury experience.
Right. Apart from the GCC exhibitors, right, which is the part of the world that is more interested about ATM? I mean, showing more and more interest in ATM, you know?
Well, the fortunate thing about ATM is we seem to be across the sectors, whether it's technology, which is booming, car rentals booming. In terms of destinations, we haven't seen any downturn from any particular continent. Asia is traditionally strong, obviously the Middle East is strong. You might think Europe might be actually because of the economic situation in Europe, but we still have most of the major European destinations taking part at ATM. And when you think about it, it makes sense because the Arabic traveller is usually a high-spend, family-oriented person. And if I'm in any destination in Europe that's experiencing difficulties, that's the sort of traveller I want to attract. So that's why we have the Spains and the UKs and most of the major European destinations exhibiting here, even though times are tough back in Europe.
Right. And what about the North Americans and the South Americans? Like, I've seen a few exhibitors from Argentina, Peru, and people coming to Los Angeles and San Francisco as well. So are these people are the first-time visitors, or are they coming to the show for the last 5-6 years as well?
Not the last 5. I mean, we've had Argentina, we have America's here, Brand USA's here quite strongly this year, which is a real coup.
Yes.
We've been trying to get Brand USA in for years. We've always heard. Now they're here. I think what really helps us with our Arabian Travel Market is the accessibility of Dubai. As you've probably heard, Dubai next year will overtake Heathrow as the #1 airport for arrivals in the world. So it makes our job a lot easier to attract destinations to come to this event because it's so accessible through the efforts of Emirates and Dubai airports.
Perfect. Speaking everyone out here in Dubai, everyone is excited about Dubai Expo 2020. Describe some of the emerging trends of the Middle East market, basically the travel market and the corporate travel market by 2020.
Well, 2020, I think everything is now on. We noticed even from last year, when the announcement was made in November, we expected an uptake, and we're only here in 2014.
Right.
I think the next 6 years, this show will grow. Now, one of my concerns or one of my absolute requirements is that we grow this show sustainably. We don't want to go back to in the past where it was a little bit boom and then suddenly a downturn. We've got to make this sustainable for post 2020. And because, when that's down, not the train running there and then what happens afterwards. But I know with our partners here at DTCM and across the way, they are very, very aware of that. And we'll work together to make sure that post 2020, Dubai will be, as their aim is to be the world's premier destination.
Perfect. Wrapping up, Mr. Walsh, could you just describe the role of social media and the digital marketing part in the promotion and the success of ATM in the last few years?
Yes, as I've said, technology is the fastest growing at all our shows, aspect of most of our shows, or all of our shows. And that will continue. And to keep up with trends, we have introduced last year a specialist technology theatre here at ATM, and the demand, whether it's Google or Sabre, is phenomenal. And we know that in the next 6 years, I'm sure the product we currently have will be unrecognisable from what we have now because of the progress of technology. But I firmly believe that from Arabian Travel Market's point of view and an exhibition, there is no substitute for the face-to-face contact, and technology will grow, but it will facilitate people coming together in Dubai every May.
Okay, thank you. It was lovely talking to you, Mr. Walsh. Hope ATM does well in the coming times, and wish you a wonderful future ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you.